Sometimes when we shift our philosophy or our starting point for our approach for working with young people, we find ourselves not being able to do it completely and with full commitment. We find ourselves in something of a middle earth. We find ourselves a bit stuck between our new relational or even restorative intention, which is what so much of this course is built around, and our old punitive teacher who hides deep within us. I certainly know that I have an old punitive teacher hiding in there who, whenever I work restoratively, likes to speak up and says things like, yeah, that's all well and good, but doesn't there still need to be a consequence? Doesn't there still need to be a punishment for the young person? As a principal and a school leader, I had to get myself ready for that conversation coming from the teachers that I worked with. And so I did. I got ready for that conversation. And whenever a teacher spoke to me, or whenever I heard that inner voice speaking directly to me also, I responded to that question of doesn't there still need to be a punishment with the same answer, whether I was talking to others or to myself. And that was another question, which is, what makes you ask that? And the most common response that people come at me with is because that's how the real world works. We have to prepare our students for the real world, and the real world doesn't let you just sort of have a conversation or make an apology when you do the wrong thing. The real world punishes you. And then I would spend a few moments just interrogating that a little bit with either my own conscience or with my colleague. And we would reflect on the research, which does speak to the fact that around 94% of the time that you do illegal or immoral things in your life, and you might creep occasionally 2 or 3 kilometres over the speed limit. You might change lanes even without indicating. You might even annoy your partner at home for no other reason than to see the satisfaction of their annoyance. There are little things that you do that are illegal and immoral all the time for which there is no negative consequence. And in fact, the research on human behaviour points to around 94%. Around 94% of the time that you do the wrong thing, there is no negative consequence for it. The real world does not punish your behaviour when you do the wrong thing, most of the time. And so we end up with this skewed belief about the real world that's worthy of challenge. Our target, our deep purpose, is not to build young people who have become skilled at dodging penalties. Our target is to build young people, should they turn out a little like you and just occasionally change lanes in traffic without indicating, understand the impact of that behaviour on others. And they have been conditioned to respond to that productively, responsibly, and personally. What we're looking to do is not create young people who will never change lanes without indicating. We just want them to understand that there are 2 possible responses when you do. When you look in that mirror and you see that the person you have cut off is a little bit upset with you, there's usually a hand signal at play, isn't there? One hand signal is the, my bad. Put the hand up and go, sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that to you. I didn't mean to cost you those 2 or 3 seconds of your day. The other signal is clearly a hand signal as well, and it involves only one finger. What we want to do is create young people who are more inclined to provide the hand than the finger. Young people who will take that momentary personal responsibility and they will seize that opportunity to do the right thing even when they're not being supervised. Saw this happen one day when we were preparing for a camp at school, and I asked one of the students to go into the home ec room and to collect some of the food that we were going to take with us on camp. And in that moment, he decided that he would use one of the open orange juice bottles and pour himself a little drink. As he did, and as I observed, as I sort of peeked over into that home ec room, I saw him spill the orange juice all over the counter. And I saw him have a moment where he clearly thought he could run away. He didn't believe he was being supervised and there would be no penalty for doing the wrong thing there. And I saw the moment pass and then again saw the moment come where he took personal responsibility by grabbing the cloth from another sink, coming over, tidying up, putting the lid back on the orange juice, putting it in the box and bringing it out with all the other gear to the bus. That's the kind of young person that we're looking to build. Surveillance into better behaviour in your school is the wrong path for you to take. Building self-regulating and self-responsible young people reduces your workload. So why not?